Hey guys, and welcome back. Today in this section of the guide, we are going to be learning about exporting from Cubicle and basically converting our QB files that we went from Blueprint to QB back to Blueprint. So we're going to convert QB to Blueprint. And we're going to do those with our edited QB files. So what we want to do is just go back into Cubicle where we left off, which is we have our main QB files, which is our main body we've edited, and then we have all our specular maps, which we did in the specular section of the guide. Now we're going to export these and get them ready to view in game. So to do that, there's a few options we can do. There's actually a name function in Cubicle. You can go in and name the actual units that you're working on. But I don't really like to do that, but you can. What I like to do is I like to just go into the sort of unit, just click on export to QB, which is here. There's a lot of other options, but we only need QB, which is the one right here. Click on that, and then I'm going to go to live. I'm going to go to my QB export, Trove modding files, costumes, Neon Ninja tutorial project, version 1, basically just all the way to my QB files, and I usually just overwrite these. It's not best practice, it's not great practice. What you can do is go, let's make an edited folder in here, so we can just, let's say we're saving the torso, as you can see, so just click on the torso, go into the edited, and save that as a QB. That's also an option, and it's probably it's not you know, best practice, like the perfect way to do it. There is really no perfect way to do it. It's all up to preference. But that's how I like to do it. So let's just do that. This is left shoulder. Let's just QB. Let's go back to QB, and let's go. It was left shoulder, wasn't it? So let's grab that. Don't click save and overwrite it. Save it there. Beautiful. Let's go to the left hand. Let's QB it. Let's go back to QB. It's left hand QB, we just grab it, we just click on that file so it copies the file name, we just save it. Alright, I'm just going to rush through this while you guys listen to the music, so let's just rush through that. And getting the file names right, I will actually bring up a subject on that. While saving, getting the file names right is important because the file names basically tell which part is which. And you need it perfect. Any minor mistake in the names of the QB files, which will get converted to blueprint files, which will also carry that name mistake, will cause issues for you. So that's left thigh. Because, of course, it replaces certain files, and those files have names, and you have to have that name perfect or it won't replace that file. Left shin. So you really need to get that this part right. And this is a really easy way to do that if you don't want to spend, you know, all the time typing it in. And I must iterate again. It's really not best practice, but it's how, you know, I like to do it. And I like to take my time with file naming and just sort of managing my file structure because it is important in the end of the day. This is the right thigh. Or not right thigh, right... No, it is the right thigh. Oh, no, I nearly overwrote it there, that's why it's not best practice, but for the sake of this guide, this is the quickest way that I can think of. So we'll just manage that. And if you do forget a name of the part, you can always come back onto the Trovesaurus database where the skin is that you're working on and that you want to replace, and just come and check the name for yourself. Just make sure not to get these uppercase parts and make sure that they're all lowercase. I don't know if it actually changes anything. I've never tried it with uppercase. I've always thought it best to just keep them lowercase. So that's the parts in bold. But saying that, we'll just continue on. So we have the right thigh. Unless we already have it in there, and we did, so I'm just going to override anyway. And I'll just ask if you want to. And then we QB, this is the right foot. Let's grab that. So why we're doing this is because in the QB file we want to keep our original level 10 skin QB, just in case we ever need it, and then we make an edited folder where we put our, you know, finished product. Good stuff. So we've got all our parts now, and as you know, we did our specular map. And you're probably wondering, how am I supposed to use this? How am I supposed to save it? Well, let's get right onto that and show you how. So as you know, we have our specular map saved here, and we're just gonna pop that up. So as you can see in this guide, it has the file names here for us, but interesting enough, it has this _t. Now that's what you have to do. So to do an example of that, this is the type map, this is the torso type map. So let's QB that. Let's go to the torso here, and let's just insert here at the end, before the .qb, _t. That tells it it's a type map. So we'll save that on the torso. And you should probably save every part as the type map as a start, but if the part doesn't actually have anything changed, like say we don't have the right shoulder changed in any way, shape or form, you don't actually need to save the mapping. So if we don't add a type map for the right shoulder, that's fine. We haven't made anything glowing, we haven't made anything glass, it's just normal. So let's just get the parts that were glowing, or the main ones. So let's do left shoulder, which is here. Or we'll be here all day, and we'll just save that. Well, the thigh is one, and we're just going to save the left side. Mainly so I can show you the difference between a material mapped skin and not having a material mapped skin. So let's save that. Then this is the left foot. So left foot up here, and let's type map that. As you know, we don't need to save the alpha map because we don't have any see-through blocks, so that should be absolutely fine. So we can just move on to the specular map, which of course we've only done the left side again, but we will do the entire torso, and just be aware that we don't actually have this left side as see-through. Oh no, but we don't want it as we don't want it to be metal either. We just want it to be you know, default rough, which is just basically saying it's going to be normal. So let's QB that, and as you know, it is a specular map, so it's an _s, and the alpha is obviously an _a. So let's just find our torso, which is here. We can go to the _t and just swap that t to an s, and it'll save it as a alternate file, of course. So let's go to our left hand, do the exact same thing. Now, while we don't have a type map for the left hand, we can still put a specular. It won't matter if you don't have one or the other. Apart from the obvious, you know, you can't have a metal and a glowing block on the same thing. You can have one missing and still use the other. You don't need to have all of the material maps together, but it is best practice and it's a good learning sort of experience, so I suggest you guys do it. But for now, we are not going to, just to save a bit of time so we're not watching me convert all of them. So what's this? This is the left thigh. So let's get that done and make it a specular. Got the shin. Let's QB that. Did have the left no, we got to do the shoulder as well, so this is the shin. Let's _specular that. Sorry, I was just checking something. And let's go on to the foot. Oh, that's not what we want. Go on the foot. And a good idea is, whenever you're doing material maps, just go over and double check stuff. So, go to the foot, make that a specular, beautiful. Let's just go over, let's say, did we get the left hand, you know, like QB? Let's just check that we got the left hand. If we go to the hand, turns out we did not save a left hand type map. So we need to do that because it's got a glowing block. It's best practice to do it. And of course, we don't want to save the right side, but that should be all of them. So now we can jump straight on to conversion of the QB blueprints. So let's get right onto that. So as we know, we saved it in... Let's get off this. Let's go to our B drive, or we just want to go to the main Trove folder again. QB export, Trove modding files. We are in costumes, Neon Ninja, tutorial project, version 1. And we want to go to our QB files. Want to go to the edited files, and that's that. You can right click on this quick access and just open in a new window. That's especially useful. And we just want to scroll down. Here's our dev tools again. Hey guys, just a quick insert section to sort of fix a part of this guide which I originally got wrong. And this is concerning the edited cubicle QB files that you have made and saved and are turning it into the blueprint files via conversion of the dev tools. Now, the original way that I was actually doing it, when this goes back all the way to when I started actually modding, is I was creating bloat files, it seems. So when I converted these QBs to the blueprints to then turn into T-mods and put in the override folder to check them in-game, I was actually selecting all of them and converting them to blueprint. Now that's the absolute wrong way to do it, and it has been confirmed by developers. So I'm just here to quickly tell you and explain the correct way to actually do those, which is preferred by the devs themselves. So what I did, obviously, is I selected all of them and converted them. When you didn't need to do that, it just created unneeded files. What actually happens when you convert to the blueprint conversion with the batch file is you take the main QB, so not the material maps that we had edited and made. You just take the main QB file of each part and then take them over here and just convert them. Now what that's done is the batch file is automatically checked if there is actually material maps with the main QB file. So if it goes, oh, you know, there's an alpha, specular, and type map for this main part, I'll grab them and automatically put them in the blueprint. So all these are in the blueprint automatically. And that's the correct way to do them. Now, if you say, let's just get rid of this, let's do it the old way that I was doing it. Let's say we get them all into the converter. Obviously, it's going to convert all of them. Now, we don't need this because it's already automatically converted all the material maps into this main blueprint. So these three are useless. They're basically just copied with the things that are already copied into the main blueprint file. So that's where it was wrong in that sense. It was my mistake, obviously. I'm just here to correct it and make sure you guys get the absolute best way to do things. There's no mistakes going down the line, there's no confusion. And if you're working on a big project, let's say you're working on a big project and you've got a bunch of files, like let's say if it's got 18 parts and you've converted those all to blueprints and you're going, oh, I don't want to click through all these, you know, just go up here, type dot blueprint if I can spell, and it'll just bring up all the blueprints. You can click on it, hold shift, go to the bottom one, click that, and it'll select all of them, and just drag and do it how you please. Copy them, you know, into the override folder, what you need to do. Yeah, but remember, it's just for the main torso blueprint file and not these. So don't get that wrong. I have, and I want you guys to do it properly. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and on to the next part. Best of luck to you all. Have a great one.